In natural church development, I don't speak about my own favorite ideas. I mean, that could be very interesting or entertaining as well, but it wouldn't be important enough, to take my own personal experiences that I have gained in the past, maybe in my youth or whenever, and project these experiences on the rest of worldwide Christianity. What an arrogant approach. No. In NCD, we try to limit ourselves as consistently as possible to focus on principles of church health that can be proven by empirical research to be of universal applicability and that are theologically at the very heart of what Christianity is all about. So if you ask me about the authority behind NCD, it's basically these two pillars. It's the empirical research. You could say that's not good, not comprehensive enough. And I would agree, that's the basic reason why we are investing hundreds of thousands of dollars every few years to go on with this research to discover things that we haven't discovered before, but you cannot negate the fact that this is the most comprehensive research that has ever been done on church health or church growth. I mean, seriously, that's not a question of opinion, that's not a question of feelings, that is a question of facts, of empirical scientific facts. And the second authority is the biblical theological argumentation. In my personal case, I invest about 50% of my energy in each of the two pillars of our ministry. Well, we have worked hard to build our NCD network strictly on these two authorities. We wanted that people who get involved with NCD do it because it made sense to them here in the head and here in their heart. That's the major reason what many people didn't understand, why for many years I was very reluctant, for instance, to use endorsements of famous Christian leaders for NCD, because endorsements can be very convincing, but they do not prove anything. And we were interested in proofs, both in the scientific and in the theological sense. That's the major reason why we were very reluctant in presenting moving stories to promote NCD. Moving stories are interesting, but they do not prove anything, and we were interested in proofs. So we focused on abstract figures, principles, research findings, biblical argumentation, and I am quite happy. I even could say I'm proud of the fact that we resisted the temptation to follow the recommendation of a number of well-meaning or not so well-meaning friends and critics who tried to push us to work with moving stories, with endorsements, with big conferences to launch NCD. Because now the following thing has happened. People who are involved with NCD moved into the network on their own initiative, not because some Christian guru told them that they have to do this. And this has given the NCD network a remarkable stability. Now just imagine that one of these gurus should decide to withdraw his or her, usually his, benevolence. Well, if you have built the network on this authority, everything would collapse. In our case, if now some Christian leader should decide to warn against NCD, and we had some limited cases where this happened, do you know what will be the result of this? Nothing. Nobody listens to it. Nobody is interested in it. Because nobody moved into the NCD network because of this because of this borrowed authority. They moved into the network because it made sense in their head and in their heart. And that is an undestroyable authority. Well, it worked a little bit slower. No, it worked remarkably slower than the other approach, but it's a far more stable foundation on which we can build the future ministry.